How the hell are we, everyone? It is Sunday night. It's the late night agenda. I'm your host, Craig, and as always, you are very, very welcome along to tonight's stream. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope you enjoyed the Premier League football over the weekend. The Reds back in action on Friday with a fantastic 4-1 victory over Norwich. I'm so happy. I'm so happy the football is back, ladies and gents. Of course, we'll have a look ahead to the Reds' trip to Istanbul on Wednesday to take on Frank Lampard. I was going to say the might of Chelsea, but after today, the might really... We'll just say Chelsea. We'll just go with Chelsea. To take on Frank Lampard, 4-0 defeated Chelsea today. Not a great start to managerial career in the Premier League for Mr. Lampard, but... You know, it is what it is, ladies and gents. How the hell are we all keeping today? Hello to everyone that's popping in. Thank you so much, as always, for the kind words. Mossy says, United fans are getting their hopes up. They need to relax. You've got to allow them their moment in the sun, buddy. You've got to allow it. They won 4-0 today on the opening day of the season against what looked like a tricky fixture against Chelsea. So, look, you got to let them have this moment, mate. Yeah, you've earned your bragging rights. You got to be able to go on and do it, don't you? United fans, we're going to win the league. Now, relax now. Relax. There's no need to get ahead of ourselves here. Look, let me start off tonight's stream by saying a massive Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim friends out there. Lots of love to all of you guys as always. Just wanted to get that out there. Say hello. Did it on the Twitter account. Yeah, look, I'm not a religious person, but as I always say, I respect everybody else's beliefs and lots of love to you. Right, Crosby Red's in the house as well. How are you, my friend? Greetings to you as well, Count Andre, and everybody else that's in the chat as well. I'd love to go back to the days where I was able to just go through everybody's name that's in the chat and just say hello, but it would take too long. And I know some people were just saying, just shut the fuck up and will you get on with this stream? But I like to say hello to people. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the object of tonight's stream, I thought, as you can see from the title, that myself and Connor had a conversation and we came to the conclusion that we believe Bobby Firmino is still underrated by some people. So we thought, tonight, let's have a bit of a Bobby Firmino appreciation stream because the Brazilian genius is my favourite player at the club. I've said that for a very long time and I want to just get your thoughts on Bobby Firmino, your favourite moments of his, what you think he brings to this team and why you believe he is still underrated by so many people. Diet Chav, you know it, Gary, mate. You know it's here. Fresh out of the fridge as well. Nice cold one ready for tonight's stream. Will is in, Pat Moynihan's in, Joanna's in, Jason's in as well. Gary, how are you? Chelsea, new look, just isn't working. It's a little bit unusual because they started off that game against United quite brightly, to be fair. Hitting the post, hitting the crossbar during the game, putting United under pressure. But then United got their penalty. Was a penalty, no arguments about that whatsoever. And then 2 quick-fire goals in the second half and Chelsea absolutely just capitulated. So yeah, difficult job there for Mr. Lampard to come into. But this is the Premier League. This is the top level. This is elite management. And that's what you got to put up with. By the way, let me just say one thing. So today we know Harry Maguire made his debut for Manchester United in a competitive sense. Aaron Wan-Bissaka the same. So United go out and beat Chelsea 4-0. 4-0. Fantastic performance by them. And Sky did the most Sky Sports thing ever and gave Harry Maguire man of the match. None of the goal scorers, none of the players that created the flair that scored the 4 goals. No. Sky and their infinite wisdom did their usual fucking thing of bigging up English players and going, hey, let's give Harry Maguire the man of the match today. Look. The fucking post and the crossbar did more things for United today defensively than Harry Maguire. So, again, for me, that was just Sky bullshit, as always. It gets embarrassing at times, it really does. I'm getting to the point where I'm watching games, and I'm so used to watching now without audio that I'm almost turning off my audio rather than listening to them. Even though Caro was in there today as well, Mourinho was there. Maguire, man of the match? Seriously? Come on. The most fucking Sky Sports thing of all time. Striker's supposed to score as often as possible. You can't think of Bobby Firmino just as a striker. You can't just look at him as a striker. In our system, Firmino provides the fulcrum for Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane to go and do their thing. And Bobby Firmino's press, Bobby Firmino's intelligent runs, Bobby Firmino's all-around match awareness is what allows Salah and Mane to do the things that they do. I've said this time and time again. If you judge Bobby Firmino on goals alone as a number 9 against likes of an Aubameyang, you're massively undervaluing and underplaying his role in this team. Bissaka did more than Slabhead today, said Paul Turner. Look, yeah, no, I'm not trying to diss Harry Maguire here in any way, shape or form. They kept a clean sheet. That has to be credited. You'd say fair play to them. But why not give the man of the match to the goal scorers? Why not give the man of the match? I think, didn't Rashford score 2 today? Didn't he score a penalty? Or did he score 1? Who scored the second one? No, James scored 1. Rashford scored a penalty. Martial scored 1. Who scored the other one? The fourth for United. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Don't give it to a goal scorer. Give it to Harry Maguire. It's and let's throw in Virgil van Dijk's name as well for a little bit of conversational topic as well. Just absolute laziness. Kane said Bobby looked awesome on Friday night. Indeed he did, mate. And as I said during that stream, the understanding and awareness between himself and Mohamed Salah is a thing of beauty. And when you drop Sadio into that mix as well, whoo, opposition defence are really in for some awful times this season. Maguire nil, Van Dijk 1 fact, said Gary Richards. Look, I don't want, every time we talk about Maguire, it doesn't have to come into a conversation around Van Dijk as well. Harry Maguire should be judged on his own merits. Harry Maguire is the world's most expensive defender. Harry Maguire plays for Manchester United now. Tickety fucking boo, but he is not as good as people make him out to be, and I think that will come out in the long term. Scotty said Firmino works so hard, it's unbelievable, mate. He is, as I said, just my favourite player. I love watching everything about him. I love his charisma. I love his boldness and brashness on the field. I love that smile of his. I love the work that he puts in. I love the pressing that he does. So many things we could talk about, Bobby. Chelsea were the better team, but United were more clinical, said Ben Rafferty. And being clinical is important, mate. Yes, there are times where you're going to have less possession. There are times where you're going to be under the cosh a little bit. And if you can go up the other end and stick a couple of goals in the Premier League, you will get punished. It is the very elite level. Very good point, Ben. I don't think he's too underrated, Craig. I think what you do off the ball and everything else that nobody pays attention to favours for Bobby Firmino. Yes, our number 9, and we love him. I love a Curtis well in. Yeah, he is our number 9. We do love him, mate. It's I think I've always said it's probably more opposition fans that don't really understand or appreciate Firmino as much as we Liverpool fans do, because we get to see the dirty stuff he does week in and week out, the hard work that he puts in, the running he does off the ball, the defending he does from the front. And sometimes maybe opposition fans just look at his numbers and go, well, look, he's not scoring as many as an Aubameyang, as many as a Lacazette, as many as a Kane, as many as an Aguero. But for me, he shouldn't be compared to them. Our goal scorers realistically are Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah when we're looking at the Golden Boot. Big up Yorkshire puddings. Oh, I don't know where that came from, but lots of love for Yorkshire puddings. I'm all for Yorkshire puddings. Look at me. I look like a man that enjoys a Yorkshire pudding. Gary, how are you, sir? Welcome in. He doesn't score enough goals, to be honest, so I think that's why people underestimate him. Again, his job, is it to score goals? I don't know. I don't think so. It's weird because we look at our wide players, and for me they're the two that we look to score the goals. Now Firmino will get his fair share, don't get me wrong, and I'm expecting big things from him this year, especially the way he's after starting off. Look, I guess everything is open to interpretation. I just think we shouldn't really be looking at him in the traditional sense of a number 9 when we're comparing him to other people. I guess that's where I'm trying to go with this one. Far Isle is in. How are we, buddy? Hey, all listening, but doing a file migration from Windows 7 to PC with Windows 10 would be lit, mate. That's way above my pay grade, Farrell. As you know, you sent me a picture yesterday of your computer that you were taking apart, and mate, I'd give up. I would have just given up, you know me. Bobby's underrated because he scores relatively few goals for a striker. They don't fully understand his role, said Toblum. My favourite Bobby moment is him whistling "Allay, allay, allay" while signing the no-look contract. Yeah, brilliant moment. I love it. And more of these Bobby Firmino moments, ladies and gents. Keep them coming. There'll never be another Bobby. The guy is class, never stops working, and silky skills. Somebody sent me a video. I'm not sure if it was John Hamilton. Somebody sent me a lovely video clip of Bobby Firmino's dentist, the guy that does a lot of the dental work for Liverpool. And he basically was saying that they held up this sheet to him when he went in to get his teeth done. And they were like, these are the shades. And he goes, no, lighter. I want brighter. Give me a brighter one. So they just basically had to go Bobby Firmino bright. Beautiful. What more can you say? Sky or water carriers to hype Manchester United, period. Look, yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from, Farrell, and we've had this conversation before, and you've let me know in no uncertain terms what you think about it. Chelsea defence is bad, but their forwards are shocking. Be lucky to finish 8th, said Crosby Red. Not holding back, I love it. Again, keep it coming. I do feel that the 4-0 was very harsh on Chelsea, but it is 4-0, and it is a good win for Manchester United. Our Manchester United fans are rightly going to be very happy. I didn't get a chance to go over and see how Mark was getting on, but I imagine he was quite fucking happy after that 4-0 win. But I don't like seeing United players happy, United fans happy. We want them all to. Somebody had to drop points today. Would have been nice for them both to drop points, I suppose, but One thing that is in our favour, ladies and gents, as I said, is Chelsea have to go to Istanbul now on Wednesday to play these Reds. Tired after putting in 90 minutes today, a lot of them at Old Trafford. And we've had an extra almost 2 full days of rest, which is nice to see. Hello, Mr. G. Great to have you on tonight, my old friend. I don't know who that is, but Paul Christopher, welcome in. You're 100% right. I think it's because up until last season, like, most of the lads could be the top flight, like City and Barca players, but that'll change to Sean Keating. What else we got there? Bobby looked awesome on Friday night, Craig. He did, Kane. He looked absolutely mustard, mate. What else we got? He didn't underestimate his quality. They sat on it. It's good because he is class and every club needs a Bobby. Fact. Look, there are managers out there who would give their right testicle for a Bobby Firmino style player, and he epitomises Jurgen Klopp on the field. I mean, we often hear about managers having their like on the pitch or their image on the pitch. Bobby Firmino is the reincarnation of Jurgen Klopp's belief, Jurgen Klopp's fight, Jurgen Klopp's charisma. All of that rolled into one exceptional footballer and dropped into that beautiful red number 9 shirt. Pat Moynihan said, great player, did not know much about him when we signed him, a lot of hard work for the team. What I remember around that time, Pat, was that there was a bit of murmur. I think he was in South America at the time. I think maybe he was away with Brazil. And Ian Ayre jumped on his Harley, went across the Atlantic. I know he couldn't technically go across the Atlantic on his Harley, but bear with me, an Ian Ayre story needs a Harley. So he went over there and he got the deal done for Bobby Firmino really, really quickly. And people believed at the time we perhaps overpaid a little bit. And, you know, in that market at that moment, perhaps we did overpay a slight bit for him. Now, looking back on it, obviously, we don't care one jot, but he was the player that Jurgen Klopp wanted, and I keep referring you guys back to a wonderful piece by Melissa Reddy that spoke about the in-depth scouting that went into looking at Bobby Firmino. They looked at him in different environments, they looked at him in different weather conditions, they looked at him home, they looked at him away, they looked into his personality, they looked into his what's the word I'm looking for here? They looked into his background with regards to red cards, yellow cards. They looked into every single detail you could possibly imagine and came back with a massive 2 thumbs up that Bobby Firmino was the player that we needed, and he hasn't let us down one moment since, has he? I absolutely love the man. Loads of love for Yorkshire Puddings as well in the chat tonight. I mean, yes, if anyone wants to send me some Yorkshire Puddings, please do. Does Klopp have one testicle? He probably has 2, but I don't know. Count Andre. Can't say I've counted them personally. Can't say I've ever asked a man either. Rouge said, hi Craig, I'm Subi's brother and Eid Mubarak. Thank you very much, mate. Welcome in, and I hope yourself and your brother are having a wonderful time. I believe that you were on holidays in Turkey and you're going to be on your way to Istanbul as well for the Super Cup. And as I said earlier on in the stream, Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim viewers watching. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope your families are all well, and lots of love to you from everybody at Anfield Agenda. James Mee said, Barcelona played yesterday. Okay. I don't know what that got to do with us, mate, or Bobby Firmino. I think Bobby will be a loyal Liverpool player for the next 10 years, so PDK. He looks like he loves it here. He looks like he absolutely loves being a Red. Arthur's gone for the Super Cup final. Liverpool 3, Chelsea 1. Didn't Rodgers sign Bobby? No, I believe that he was signed under... Wasn't he signed under Klopp? Surely he was signed under Klopp, wasn't he? Or he was signed... No, maybe he was signed under Rodgers, but he was definitely signed with Klopp's intent. Do you know what? You could be right. I'm just thinking back now. You know what my memory's like, ladies and gents. It's absolutely fucking shocking. Did he? Somebody will be able to tell me this one. And again, Shanzo, you could well be right, mate. You know me and my memory. It's shocking. Give us your top 4 prediction, said Saif. Right, I'm going to go. It's easy to get overhyped about United after today's performance, but honestly, this is where I'm going. So I'm going Liverpool, City, Spurs, Arsenal, United, Chelsea. I know you asked for 4, but that's where I'm going with 6. He was a Rodgers signing. Yes, there you go. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. He's still the epitome of Jurgen Klopp on the pitch. But as I said, the scouting that did go into him, unparalleled from what I've ever read. Like, the level of detail that went into that from Barry Hunter and the scouting department was awesome. Yeah, again, my memory shocking, but he is... Again, I still believe, and even though I'm wrong about when he was signed, I still believe that there's too much coincidence there. Surely they had to know Klopp was on his way in when they signed him. Surely. I mean, look, Anyway, I'm a cynical bastard, as you know, ladies and gents. Rodgers definitely signed Bobby in 2015. Okay, well, we got summer transfer window. Rodgers last season. Thank you very much, Big Verge. Leicester or Wolves for 7th. Ooh, it's going to be difficult. See, the thing about Wolves is, Wolves are absolutely fantastic and they've signed some really good players. But for them to come in, be in Europe this season, and challenge again. Thursday, Sunday football is not easy. When the season goes on, we know, I don't know what it is. Why Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday seems to be sound, but Thursday, Sunday seems to be something that absolutely fucks with teams. So I wonder how that will affect Wolves this season, having that European football. That smile of Firmino was special, said CM Butterbell. Firmino was an absolute steal, 29 million, absolute crazy the progress he's made and been amazing. Think he'll have a big season this year, said Christopher Byrne. Again, love it and keep the good vibes for Bobby coming. Banter said VVD is miles better than Maguire. I'm with you, pal. You don't have to convince me. So who signed Sadio, Klopp or Rodgers? That was definitely Klopp. Definitely Klopp. LFC 1892 said City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, United, Chelsea, Leicester and Wolves in that order. Hate to say Liverpool second, but this is taken into account our depth compared to City's. Look, mate, you know my thoughts on this. I think that the off-field issues are going to come back and haunt Manchester City this season. I read an article earlier on, I believe it was in the Independent, that suggested there was an incoming European ban for Manchester City. Could even go as far as 3 seasons. Do check it out or have a Google about it. Get all the information on it. It was very enjoyable reading, I have to say. Yasser said Rodgers signed him, but Klopp moved him ahead of Sturridge in the attack and developed Firmino. As a result, Firmino is now playing for Brazil. Yeah, I couldn't understand, again, no disrespect to Gabriel Jesus, but I couldn't understand why Firmino was behind Jesus in the Brazilian pecking order. I mean, Gabriel Jesus is a very good footballer, but I think Firmino is better and gives more to a team. Who signed Maguire, or who said Maguire is better than VVD? I don't remember seen anybody saying that, Aaron, mate, to be fair. I think even the most staunch Manchester United fan would have to admit that he is a good player, Maguire, but he isn't Virgil van Dijk. UK Beat said, hey, everyone's great to have the Premier League back. Bobby's one of my favourite players. He's amazing at everything. Love it. Let me just check through my notes as well. Yes, I heard something today. Maybe you guys heard this as well watching the game. They said that Adrian's renting Cara's house. I think somebody on Sky said that. And it got me thinking, that's not quite very unusual, is it? We've heard of a few stories before. Didn't Kloppo rent out his house to Dembele? Isn't Klopp renting Rodgers' house? And isn't there a few more players that do stuff like that as well, that have rented houses from other players? It's mad, that little ecosystem, isn't it? Just made me think when I heard somebody on Sky, it might have been Martin Tyler, saying that Adrian's renting Cara's house. I'm sure I heard that correctly anyway. Cara said he's trying to buy it. Nice. Jesus from Firmino played together, said Callum. No, mate. Go back to the World Cup. He was Jesus was getting starts ahead of Firmino. Can we just give Firmino love this entire stream? Just kidding, love the channel, up the Reds. I'm up for giving him love the entire stream, Mitchell, mate. Absolutely up for it. Going to Liverpool. What's this? I'm going Liverpool to win it. Call me deluded Liverpool fan. I don't care. Be deluded. I'm fully deluded, mate. I'll jump on board that bus with you. I think Liverpool have a really good chance to win the Premier League this year. And watching a few things, reading a few things and looking into a few things, I think we're being underestimated by a lot of people. Yes, Manchester City are an absolutely phenomenal squad. No doubt about that. Not underplaying how good they'll be and not underplaying the possibility of them going and winning 3 Premier League back to back. But I do think a lot of people are undervaluing quite how good Liverpool are. 1 point was all that was in it last year. 1 point. 1 point when we were on a run to the Champions League final. VVD rented, who's this? OG's house, said Stephen Booker. Stevie Wonder said Maguire was better than Van Dijk. United will finish higher than Liverpool. It's time to put the drugs down, sir. It's time to put the drugs down. United aren't finishing higher than Liverpool. Don't get above your station. It was a decent win today. 4-0 against Chelsea. Not to be sniffed at, but come on, be serious. There's no way United are finishing above Liverpool this season. It just is not going to happen. MUFC Gamers in. How are you, my friend? Said, hello all. Brilliant performance today from United. Absolutely buzzing. Only one game. Not getting carried away. There you go. Look, rational Manchester United fan. It was a good performance from you guys today, mate. And it's a very good result and a good start to the season. Feel you guys full of confidence. I'm not happy about it. Obviously, I don't want to see United to succeed, but I'm trying to be honest in my opinion. Callum said he wasn't in the Copa America. Jesus was right mid. Firmino was striker. Yes, mate, because Neymar wasn't playing. Neymar wasn't at the Copa America, remember? Don't want to get into an argument here, buddy. It's all just about opinions. But Neymar was injured for the Copa America. There's something that the cop wants you to know, said Stephen Richards. The best there is Bobby Firmino. Si, senor. Pass the ball to Bobby and he will score. There's something that the cop wants you to know. The best there is Bobby Firmino. Si, senor. Pass the ball to Bobby and he will score. I know what you're thinking. Is that Jamie Webster? No, it's not quite, ladies and gents, but fuck me, I love me some Bobby Firmino. Van Dijk rented Ole Gunnar's house, said Casper. I didn't know that, mate. Interesting stuff. How long do you think Alisson will be out for? I believe, Josh, mate, 4 to 8 weeks, but I'm trying to be optimistic and go on the side of 4 weeks, pal. Subscribe and hit the like button, said Stephen Richards. Please do. We're only 6 subscribers away from 20,400, ladies and gents. So if you're enjoying the stream, you know what to do. And I promise I won't sing anymore as well. There you go. I'm not really promising that, though. You never know. I could break into song. Terrible song at any moment. Callum Hudson-Odoi said, not going to lie, but I think Chelsea should have won. United just took their chances. At the start, Mr. Hudson-Odoi, sir, I gather you're a Chelsea fan, you were certainly going at Manchester United and had opportunities. A really good strike as well from Abraham to hit the post. Had De Gea beaten all ends up. Unlucky. But just the penalty was the penalty. I mean, that could have happened at any point. That was neither down to any particularly good play by United, just a rash challenge. But after that, when the second and third goal were scored in quick succession, Chelsea just capitulated, mate, and that would be worrying to see. Patrick Doyle said, Craig, if Frank keeps picking a team like that every week, it won't last until Halloween. Yeah, obviously Kante was on the bench. I think he had a knock. Pulisic came on. He looked fairly bright when he came on for them as well. But one thing it says, it's quite a young Chelsea team, and it will take some getting used to for them with Hazard not being there and stuff as well. It is what it is. Love it. LFC 8092 said, the voice of an angel with a chest infection. I love it, mate. I'm fucking shocking at singing, I hear you. My wife absolutely despises it. So I do it over and over again. Iranian Pride, my friend, how are you? Welcome in. Said Chelsea were rubbish today. I think rubbish is a little bit harsh, but they did capitulate, as I said. I'm a Liverpool fan, but to be fair, United played very well today. Said, look, you can't deny a 4-0 win at home against Chelsea is a good result. Performances are important, but the history books will show United went out and won 4-0 today. Don't you think a European ban for Manchester City will help them in the Premier League? Well, first, I think it's important to note, mate, that Aaron, there'll be no ban this season for Manchester City in the Premier League. If they do get hit with a ban by UEFA, it will be appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sport in Luzerne, and that will be for next season. But the reason I was talking about off-field issues, getting to them, is so you will have that potential ban, you will have that legal battle, you will have the newspaper headlines, you'll have press conferences where Guardiola and the Manchester City players are just being constantly asked about the issues, and it will get to them. Maybe they'll form a siege mentality where they'll think it's us against the world and they'll go and perform even better. But maybe, just maybe, it'll destabilise them a little bit. And maybe, knowing that there couldn't be any Champions League football for a year or two, maybe Guardiola might look at his contract and go, no Champions League football here. Because I don't care what anybody says. Pep Guardiola was brought in there, yes, for success, but he was brought in there to win Manchester City European Cup, because that's what those owners want. Those owners want Manchester City to be recognised as a global brand. They want Manchester City to get a seat at the top table of world football, and they want Manchester City to create history and a dynasty. And that won't happen without a Champions League. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what Pep says. He was brought in there to win a Champions League. And he's done some great stuff with Manchester City. I'm not going to deny that. But he hasn't won the Champions League yet. Didn't do it at Bayern Munich. It will be interesting to see how this one plays out. Jamie Webster, is that you? Si, senor. How do we beat Chelsea 4-0? Said Lee Newman. I don't know, mate. But you know what? You did. So sit back and enjoy it, pal. Yeah, as football fans, you got to take every little victory along the way, don't you, buddy? Was Willian injured today? I'd read that he didn't make the matchday squad, Paul. I honestly don't know if he's injured or not. I just remember again before the game starting, one of the commentary team just saying something about the fact that Willian didn't make the Chelsea squad. I'm not going into the Virgil van Dijk song UK beats. Nobody wants that. Who'll get the golden boot? Asks Luke Doyle. It's a fair question, mate. Obviously, Aubameyang got off the mark today as well. Harry Kane got himself a couple. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting run. I think a lot of it will come down to who can stay fit. So if Aguero can stay fit, if Harry Kane can stay fit, if Salah and Sadio can stay fit, if Alba can stay fit, then I think it'll probably be one of those five. But it is going to be a very interesting race indeed. It's the Premier League is blessed to have some tremendous goal scorers. Obviously, I'm not including Jesus in there as well. Lacazette, many more. Jamie Vardy, of course, as well. There's just a lot of good attacking players in the Premier League. I have a neutral, but flights are 300 quid, so I'm not sure if I'll go. I have a neutral ticket to Papandu. Where is this to, mate? Is this to Istanbul, or are we talking somewhere else? Crosby, Red going absolutely balls out for a Reds 5-0 victory over Chelsea in the Super Cup. That'll do rather nicely, I'm not going to lie. The L10 is starting to fade. Are you showering twice a day, said Patrick Doyle. Don't say that to me, mate. Jesus. Don't be telling me the tan's fading. Oh, you'll have me in bits, mate. No, I'm blaming the lighting. But don't worry, mate. The tan might be fading, but it's alright. Because myself and Mr. Crosby and Anfield Agenda are off to Florida next month, don't forget. Heading over to visit the good folks in Orlando and heading down to Tampa Bay to visit the Liverpool Supporters Club down there as well. So I'm sure I can work on the tan a little bit, mate. And then I'm very lucky to have a family holiday to Tenerife lined up for October as well. So I'll get that tan back in action, Patrick. Don't you worry. Again, as I said, we are travelling over to Florida. I want to hear from any Floridians out there, any Liverpool fans in that neck of the woods in the United States. We're going to be meeting up at the Orlando Supporters Club on September the 14th for the Newcastle game, and then we're going to be heading out to Tampa for the Reds' first Champions League game. If you are in that neck of the woods, please do pop down, say hello. Mr. Crosby's going to get the drinks in. He's going to kill me for saying that, but he will. It might be tap water, but he'll get the drinks in. He'll make sure they put a little bit of lemon in there just for a drop of flavour. Dave's LFC chat said Salah for the golden boot. Again, Dave, it was great to have you on, mate, along with Stephen Richards for our first phone in the season after the Reds win on Friday. Is it me, said CM Butterbell, or is Lampard a little too happy with the 4-0 defeat today? I don't know. I didn't actually watch the post-match press conferences. I had to go get the dinner on for the family, but no, I don't know. I didn't see it. Maybe I'll get a chance to watch it back later on. Yassar said, Sarri saying Dybala may not make the Champions League squad. What a joke. The way they're treating him because he didn't want to go to United. If he did say that, mate, that's just wrong. I mean, look, the man clearly wants to stay there. I mean, Paulo Dybala clearly wants to stay at Juventus, loves the club. As I said all along, I've got a feeling he'll end up at Paris Saint-Germain. But Pimento Calcio need to treat him a little bit better there, don't they? I think that's what I'm going to have to start calling Roberto when he comes in, by the way. Isn't that the name in FIFA for you FIFA players out there? Because Juventus signed an exclusivity deal with Pez, didn't they? So aren't they called Pimento Calcio or something like that? Yes to Istanbul. Oh, mate, if you can go. Beautiful city. Absolutely great stadium as well, the Besiktas Vodafone Arena. I wish I could go over to it. I know there are some Reds heading over to it, and if you are, travel safe, have a great time, enjoy the city, enjoy the football, and hopefully you'll get to see the Reds lift another trophy. Christopher Burns said, thoughts on Trent potentially moving into midfield in the future? I can't have this conversation without having to give credit to Neil Atkinson from the Anfield Rap, because I don't like to rob people's thoughts. But what he said before, and I've said it time again, is that we'll get to a point where Trent has to have a conversation with the gaffer about whether he wants to be the greatest right back in world football or whether he wants to go and be a very good midfielder. And for me, yes, Trent Alexander-Arnold can absolutely step into midfield, but I'd rather see him at right back, if I'm being honest, Christopher. I think he could be one of, well, he already is. He could go on to be probably the best right back in world football. What would you rather win, the Champions League or the Premier League? If I'm a player, Luke, and I have no vested interest in anything really, I've just signed for Liverpool Football Club saying this is my first year. If I'm looking back on my career, probably a Champions League. But if I'm a scouser, or if I'm somebody coming in that understands what the Premier League would mean to Liverpool right now, the Premier League. And which do I want? The Premier League, of course. We are champions of Europe as things stand, but we know 30 years is too long for Liverpool not to win a top division title in English football, so the Premier League. But if you're a player coming in, yeah, you probably, I mean, when you look back in your career, the Champions League is the pinnacle of European club football, or probably even world club football. Do you need an extra cameraman for Florida, said Lee. No, that's all Crosby's there for, mate. Do you know what I mean? He's there to get the drinks in and be the cameraman, so no, I think we're all good with regards to camera stuff. But if you want to have a go jumping in the suitcase, pal, feel free. As long as you don't weigh over 23 kilos, we're good to go. Because I ain't paying for excess baggage. As much as I love you, Lee, I'm not paying for excess baggage, pal. Craig, a lot of people have been randomly banned by some mods. Any way to unban some? Right, firstly, Brian Morrissey is the man that runs the moderators on the channel. As you can see, he's the chief moderator. Have a chat with Brian. Brian will try to sort things out. John was on yesterday, wasn't it? John Bale, and asked me to unban him, which I did. I went and got that done last night, as promised on the stream. But look, the mods are here to do a very difficult job. The mods basically make sure that nobody comes in and spams link into the chat. Nobody comes in, it becomes abusive to people in the chat. And they look after our best interests. So I trust the mods implicitly. But from time to time, people can be a little bit trigger happy and things can go wrong. And we're fully, aware, and we want to try and address these situations and get people who feel they've been unfairly treated back in. So look, there's always a conversation to be had, mate. Mr. Morrissey there will try and sort it out for you. MUFC Gamer said, love the emotion on James' face when he scored, especially after sad news. Look, it was obviously terrible to hear about his father. Absolutely terrible. And it was lovely from his perspective and from a United fan's perspective, of course, to see him score in his debut. Me being a Liverpool fan, I can absolutely feel the emotion about his father's part of it, and I want to show him respect towards that. But obviously I don't want your club to succeed, mate. I can't hide that fact. But as I said, from a human perspective, yes, it was a lovely moment for the young man. Didn't Trent start his career in midfield? He did, mate. At underage football, that is where he played. Then he got moved into right back, and look at him now. Well, right wing back really, but look at him now, man. That delivery from both sides, from Robertson and from Trent, it is, as I said the other night, it's Beckham-esque. It is brilliant. And then Henderson as well. I can't underplay his crossing ability and his through balls as well, since he's been given a little bit more scope to push forward. Scotty said, gonna see the Reds against Watford in December. Nice one, buddy. Enjoy. It really feels like an accomplishment these days, doesn't it? Getting a ticket to go over and see the Reds. Like, it does feel like an occasion that hopefully I'm gonna get to fucking do this season. 6 slices of bacon, salt, no pepper, said Shankly Spirit. No messing about here. 6 slices of bacon. Better be back bacon, mate. None of that streaky nonsense. Boya, how are you, mate? 0-0 against Wolves today. Happy about that. First game of the season. I heard there was a bit of a VAR controversy, Anthony. Now, I didn't watch the game. Obviously, I was watching the Arsenal game at the time. But I'd love to know your thoughts. Leicester City FC Boya in the chat there. Our good friend Anthony. United media orgy has begun, said Football Guy. Yeah, it won't stop either, mate. It won't stop. Maguire for the Ballon d'Or will be doing the rounds next week. Steve said, I don't know, but if I write that in the chat, it just disappears. No, it doesn't, mate. You're there. It's been read out. Oh, I think you meant from your other account, is it? Well, your Stevie G account that you're talking on now, mate, is sound. This is your one with 3 E's, though. What else we got? Don't know who took my spanner off me. It could have been me, Stephen Taggart, to be fair, mate. We did go through all the mods recently and remove ones from people who either hadn't been in for a while or who had a spanner but didn't really do anything when they had a spanner, mate. And I can't remember what the conversational point would have been around, but it could well have been me, Stephen. Could have been me, mate. What else we got? Far too much bacon. Don't you ever say that, Lee. Don't you ever say that, my friend. Craig, I'm like you, from Ireland. It's hard to get over to Liverpool for a game. It is difficult, mate. Yeah, and it can be the price of a holiday almost at times to get over there. It's getting more and more difficult, but you know, it's a beautiful thing when you get to see the Reds. That's all I can say. And I don't like to put negative spins on things, but yeah, you're right. It's getting more and more difficult to get over. Can I unban my Mr. Meme account? No, I'm not going through and unbanning fucking every account in the world, mate. If you were banned, tell me why you were banned. And give me an honest opinion why you were banned. Because the mods don't just go and ban people for absolutely nothing. They don't just randomly start clicking on accounts and go, ban, 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 ban. You're banned. You're banned. So look, whilst there will be some occasions where they make mistakes, a lot of the time people have probably deserved it. And I'm not going to spend the stream talking about banning or unbanning people. You're in now, you're on that account, Big Jeff, or Bill Jeff, excuse me, and you're able to chat, so fire away. Finally back from Turkey, and I'm burnt to a crisp, said Kyle. It's a beautiful place, mate. I'm just back from there myself a couple of weeks. 42 degrees it got up to at one point when we were over there, mate. So I get where you're coming from. I got burned for the first day or two, then I toned it down a little bit, but I hope you had a lovely holiday, mate. I'm a season ticket holder, the main stand. Give us a shout if you want a cup game or something, mate. That's very kind, Danny. Mate, if you want to get in contact, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to have a conversation about this, you know, in private to an extent, Danny. If you ever did a spare ticket or at buddy, AnfieldAgenda@outlook.com. Hit me up, Danny, or on Twitter @AnfieldAgenda. I'd love to hear from you, mate, and I really appreciate that offer. What have we got? John Hamilton said, and if we ban you by accident while trying to ban somebody else, say it and we'll try and get unbanned almost instantly. And that does happen, because with the chat moving, sometimes people click on the wrong account. I've done it myself. I definitely have. Pacey Bits Not Rich said, hi United fan but not hating. That's alright, mate. You're welcome in. Absolutely, we welcome everyone in, buddy. I know we're a Liverpool channel, but much like many other fan channels, we do get fans popping in from different clubs, and you're all very welcome. This is a big melting pot of football fans, mate, and all that we ask is that you're kind of respectful to the others in the chat, and you'll be very welcome. Craig Adams 667 said, read a lot lately of pundits and some fans saying Trent gets found out a lot defensively, but they also seem to forget he's only 20 and has time to get even better. It's a very, very good point, Craig. I mean, we're judging Trent at the elite level, and rightly so, because that's where he is. European champion, 6 times, motherfuckers. Back-to-back finalists as well. Trent has been a massive part of that. And yes, he may make mistakes from time to time, as anybody will, but he's only 20, as you said, mate. And that is frightening to think just how good he's going to get. Do I think Adrian will step up to the plate well when Alisson is out? Asked PDK. I hope so, mate. I mean, look, anything can happen. He seemed very confident when he came on. He seemed, as somebody pointed out to me as well, he seemed to be very vocal in trying to organise things. And getting a run of games together will help him as well now. I mean, he'll get into a match rhythm. It's difficult for him to come in like he has been, just dropped in there, to come in and play a Super Cup, to then go and play against Southampton as well. But I have every faith in the man. I really do. He's a Liverpool player now. He seemed quite confident when he was playing. No fault to him at all for Timo Pukki's goal. It was a very good piece of centre-forward play. A quick touch and then bang back across the keeper. Adrian didn't get a chance to set himself. So, for what I've seen, he seems quite good. But let's just keep fingers crossed that the defence steps up as well. And that we don't really discuss Adrian too much, because he doesn't have too much to do, and that would be brilliant. Red sauce on sausage baps, brown sauce on bacon. Do you know what, mate? I'm kind of with you. Stephen, on that one. Although the odd time, I have to admit, I'll mix it around. Sometimes I'll have a bit of brown sauce on a sausage sandwich. Don't hold it against me. Wan-Bissaka's poor end product, passing, crossing compared to Trent, said Dean Dixon. Yes, but he is behind Trent in his development. He looks like a good player, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and he'll probably go on and have an excellent career at the top level. But again, just like comparing Maguire to Van Dijk, which is probably easier to put Van Dijk ahead of him, because they are roughly the same age. I think maybe Maguire's a year younger than Van Dijk, but they've played in the Premier League for quite a long time, so it is an easier comparison to make, or an easier debate to have, and Van Dijk's better, hands down. But Wan-Bissaka kind of really only broke through at Palace, I think, last year, so again, it's a big step up for him, and you got to credit the young player and backing himself like that and taking that step up. Connor's put in the link to our Instagram account there. If anybody is an Instagram user, it's just Anfield Agenda. If you're over there, give us a search. Connor's running it, the new look Anfield Agenda Instagram account. So go over there, check it out, give us a follow. Connor posts nudes occasionally as well, don't you, Connor? I mean, I assume that's what everybody does on Instagram. I don't know, not being an Instagram user. I mean, who the fuck wants to look at this? Tony, how are you, mate? Welcome in. Happily Egg said, Craig, Trent's mistakes. Sometimes you just have to give the other team credit for making the right move. Yes, exactly. Every goal doesn't have to be a defensive mistake. Sometimes you just have to sit back and applaud good attacking play or a lovely ball from midfield. Maguire played good today, said time crisis. Yes, Maguire was a good player. I'm not trying to say Maguire's shit. I'd never say that. Harry Maguire is a very good centre-back, and he did play well today. But to be given man of the match, I thought was just a bit silly when United had gone and won 4-0. Would like to see if Bruno Fernandes could have played Firmino's role, said Brad. I guess we won't know, mate, anytime soon. Be interesting to see if any of the other European clubs go in now for Fernandes, knowing that no Premier League club can make that move because the window's closed. What do you guys think? Do you think anything will happen there? Do you think he'll be still at Sporting Lisbon when the window closes? Maul said, who do you reckon will win the Champions League this year? I can see Juve doing well personally. Look, yes, Juve will be there. Liverpool will be there. Manchester City will be there probably till the quarterfinals. Barca might be there. I don't know what to make of Madrid. The new look Madrid under Zinedine Zidane. Who else? Ajax obviously have sold a lot of those good youth players. So Spurs may do well again. They'll be full of confidence as well after strengthening it in Ndombele scoring on his Premier League debut. But I think it's a very difficult competition to call, just like I said last year. But we are set and built for European football. So I'm expecting us to go quite deep in the competition again. It's intriguing. I'll tell you who won't be winning it though. Paris Saint-Germain. I can fucking say that for a fact. Watch them tonight playing again, and the level of opposition is awful, but they just can't concentrate for long enough for me, PSG. And that, because they can breeze through games so much in Ligue 1, they just get these moments in the Champions League where they come up against teams that won't give them time to breathe, will smother them, and I think they'll get found out again. But good shout on Juve. I mean, they've always got to be there or thereabouts. But so do the Reds, European champions. See how other teams are now doing transfers the same way Klopp does, buying what's needed, not just shirt sellers, said Red Hulk. It's the right way to go if you want success. I mean, look, signing a player like Ronaldo or Messi, yeah, look, there's a best of both worlds scenario there. Same with Kylian Mbappe and stuff like that. But yes, you've got to be clever. You've got to go and sign good up-and-coming players. You've got to go and sign the best of what's out there. And sometimes you've got to look at players that are just undervalued or undervalued in the market by other people. I mean, Andy Robertson, example number one. What's your midfield for the Chelsea game? Asks Dave of Dave's LFC chats. Right, Dave, let me have a look, mate. Fabinho has to play. Probably go Milner and Keita to freshen it up a little bit. Obviously, the Reds have another game coming up then against Southampton on Saturday, which, interestingly, I had a look at today. I know there's a 3 p.m. blackout in the UK for games, but thankfully that doesn't apply in Ireland. And Sky have kind of mixed around their new package in Ireland here. So Sky basically have the distribution rights for BT Sport in Ireland now as well. And what used to happen was when you had a Sky Sports subscription, you got one Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff. It varied from week to week. They've been a little bit sly in how they've done things this year. So they make you take out that BT subscription now, which also has Premier Sports attached to it. And that's where they're shown the 3 p.m. Saturday kickoff. Or at least that's where they are next Saturday. Thankfully, I have that subscription. So we will be able to bring you the watch along of the Reds game against Southampton. So if there's anybody in Ireland that has Sky Sports and now the BT Sports package with Premier Sports, it is on Premier Sports 1 next Saturday 3 p.m. So we will be able to do a watch along of it, and you will be able to watch it if you're in Ireland. Obviously, if you're in the States, Canada, Australia, everywhere else in the world, I don't know. I'm sure you'll probably be able to get it. But for UK-based people, without being creative, it won't be shown on television. What have we got? Atleti might do well in the Champions League. Yeah, I keep forgetting about Atleti, mate. You're right. They're a very difficult side. Made some good additions as well. Really interested to see, though, how they're ridiculously... Was it 100 and what did they pay? 130 million or something like that for the kid from Juventus, João Felix, or not Juventus, Benfica, I should say. Sorry, João Felix. Very interested to see how that one goes. But yeah, you can never underestimate them. They're a very good side, very hard to break down as well. Real shithouse team, and I mean that in a respectful way. Right, so Count Andre said the first round of VAR is done. What's your verdict, Craig? Well, honestly, I haven't looked at every game, mate. I haven't seen the VAR incidents in every game. There was nothing really in the Reds game. A couple of incidents in the Manchester City game. I know that the thing that seems to be getting to people most about VAR is the offside thing and like a couple of millimeters. And people are going, but it's a couple of millimeters. I get it. But I suppose we have to draw a line here somewhere, don't we? Draw a line, of course. Bit of a pun there. I think that's a pun. Anyway, you get where I'm coming from. That seems to be the thing that's winding people up the most. We haven't really had a major handball incident yet that I'm aware of. Although now that I'm saying that, I said I didn't see the Leicester game earlier. Was there something with Bolly and a handball? I think okay, mate, but it's just going to be something we're going to have to get used to in the sport now. Technology has come into football and has done well in some situations. I mean, nobody has anything but good things to say, I think, around the goal line technology system. That's flawless. I think we're all happy with that one. VAR and the new rules, it takes some getting used to, mate. But so far, no major fuck-ups, so I think we can count that as a plus. I want to see Lallana on Wednesday, said Lee. I don't know, mate. I don't know. Am I being harsh on Lallana here? Not with Oxlade-Chamberlain and Keita there. I will play both of those ahead of Lallana personally, but it is going to be intriguing. Jurgen Klopp does have a lot of choice in his midfield. Craig, would you rather win the Champions League and City win the Premier League, or for us to win the Premier League but City win the Champions League? I would base my decision entirely on what I want Liverpool to do. I could care less what Manchester City do. I want us to win the Premier League. So, Premier League, please. If that means City end up winning the Champions League, so be it. I'm only concerned about what the Reds will win, mate. And I'm not going to deny that I want us to win the Premier League. Same way I did last year, but look, the Champions League was a fucking amazing trophy to win. And what a week of football, as I've gone back to. I mean, that Monday night where Company scored the worldie against Leicester led into the Tuesday night where we had that 4-0 comeback against Barcelona to go through 4-3, which led into the Wednesday night in that remarkable Spurs comeback against Ajax as well in the Amsterdam Arena. It was just a tremendous 3 nights of football, which led us to number 6. Dean Dixon said the under-18s won 7-1. We spoke about that yesterday, mate, against Blackburn. And, of course, the under-23s lost 4-0, as you've said, to Spurs with Brewster Jones, Harvey Elliott and Ryan Kent taking part in that game. Right, Willow said, nope, you were talking to somebody else. She said, I hate having a 3pm blackout. They know we're mad for our football. We'll just do about anything to watch the match. Yeah, I think the reason the game that was brought in the UK was to protect attendances. I think. In this day and age, does it need to be done for top level football? I mean, Premier League is so popular right now that you will sell out almost every game anyway, I think, or certainly sell out most seats for every game. So is the 3pm blackout still needed? I don't know. Probably not though. What happens if you win your head to head on the fantasy football? You get 2 points, mate, and you go on to the next week. Each week is just like a you against somebody, whoever wins. Is it 2 or 3 points? I can't remember. That's how shit I am at fantasy. That's a Brian Morrissey question right there, by the way. Anyone who does have any FPL questions with regards to our 2 leagues, of course, the main league sponsored by our friends at bloodhusky.com. I have a link in the description below to bloodhusky.com, and if you're over there and you want to get yourself a couple of t-shirts, remember to use the code AnfieldAgenda10 and you'll get yourself a 10% discount. Now, as I've said before, that's not so we can make any money from this. We aren't making a fucking penny from it, I promise you that. We want to get you guys a discount on good products, so that's what we've done. So if you want to go over and check out bloodhusky.com, I think the sale's still on, but don't quote me on that one. But do head over there and check it out. Some really good clobber. I think I have a little package coming tomorrow from Blood Husky. If not tomorrow, then definitely on Tuesday. And I'm really looking forward to it. I've got my Klopperberg t-shirt coming. And my Blood Husky branded black t-shirt as well. Right, what else we got? Would like to see clear daylight between players for offside. Then I suppose, mate, the question is, where's the clear daylight? What defines clear daylight? You can move it and move it and move it and move it. It's just getting that definitive, I suppose, I was going to say definitive definition, but that doesn't sound right as a sentence. For me, the issue sometimes comes at when the ball was released or played through. That exact fraction of a second where the through ball was played. It's It's never going to be perfect. It's not like, as I've said, in tennis or in cricket or in rugby league sometimes, where things are black and white, often the ball's in or the ball's out. There are some, still down to some human error at times. There's a law in the UK which bans 3 p.m. broadcasting of football clubs to protect grassroots football, apparently, said Stealthful. Is it to protect the grassroots football? Look, I know it's to protect attendances, but to be fair, I think in this day and age, they could do more to be protecting grassroots football anyway, if that is the case. For those asking as well, our FPL league, both of them, they are closed to new entries. We thought it was only fair to do that after the first game week. If Liverpool win the Super Cup, what's the cash earnings? Haven't got a Scooby-Doo, Andre. Haven't got a clue, pal. Don't ever look at it from that side of things. Do you think if the right package... Sorry. Do you think if I get the right package on my phone, it'll be the same issue, Wendy? I don't know, Joanne. I'm going to have to pass that one off. That sounds like a technical question. I'm not the technical department. Do you think Chelsea will put out a strong team for the Cup, Super Cup, like they did today? Already, Frankie Lampard's going to be under a little bit of pressure, isn't he? If he goes and gets his ass handed to him on Wednesday by the Reds, that'll be 2 losses in a row, and pressure already starting to mount on Mr. Lampard. And look, we know we can't dip into the transfer window because they have a 2-window ban, don't they, Chelsea? So couldn't do much this window. Obviously, they had Christian Pulisic coming in, sold Eden Hazard, and they brought in Kovacic as well. They signed him on a permanent deal. They let David Luiz go to Arsenal for 8 million, which seems very cheap. But interest on the Willian thing. Can anybody confirm that he was fit but just wasn't chosen today to be in the matchday squad? The PSG fans were singing to Neymar and showing him a banner that said "Leave Neymar" or something like that today. I hope they were. I really do, because you all know my thoughts on Neymar at this moment in time. Another decent trophy up for grabs. Buzzing for Wednesday, said Shea Trainer. Yes, it's great to see the trophy opportunities coming thick and fast, isn't it? Then, of course, we've got the World Club Championship as well coming up. Premier League starting back on the 18th of... Or not the Premier League, the Champions League starting back on the 18th and 19th of September as well for the Reds. Yeah, I'm buzzing. Absolutely buzzing for the season ahead. Right, Banter said, I like "Are we what if the ref is a knob and gets it wrong and we can see the goal? VAR will correct it." Exactly. And we'll also see a lot of linesmen keeping their flags down this season as well, because they want play to progress and they want to give the benefit of the doubt to the attacking team until they can go back and look at it in VAR. I'm not trying to spark negativity, said Jack's Page, but did you see how Adrian went down to save Pukki's goal in stages? He didn't look very fluid whilst doing it. He looked mechanical. Mate, as a former goalkeeper, I can absolutely say to you, he didn't get a chance to set himself. It was as simple as that. Through ball came through. Adrian was still shuffling across to get himself into position. Before he can set himself, Pukki takes a quick touch and then knocks it back across him, wrong footing him. Absolutely zero fault there with Adrian whatsoever. It was just really good centre forward play. It was the quickness that did him. It was the quickness of movement and thought from Timo Pukki that absolutely did Adrian, and probably would have done most other goalkeepers as well. It would have been an excellent save to get it done, but a goal that there's absolutely no fault with the goalkeeper from. Not from my point of view anyway. Do you think Brewster will be involved on Wednesday? No, not in any major way. Just basing this off although it depends how big the bench is. I don't know how big the bench is actually going to be for the... Does anybody know that actually? How many substitutes are going to be able to be put on the bench? I know in the Premier League it's 7, but what is it for the Super Cup? That might have a part to play in it as well. What midfield was he playing in the Super Cup, seeing as United gave them a good attacking, or good, good attacking midfield, can get at them. As I said, did I name? Yes, exactly as you've named there, mate. Fabinho, Milner, Keita. That's probably what I'd go with. Just because I want to give Hendo a rest, actually, because he put in a big shift against Norwich. Willian was injured, said Jack's Page. Oh, there you go. Thank you for clearing that one up. Then why the hell did Sky Sports say he wasn't in the squad? Like they just used it as like a factual statement, say Willian not even in the matchday squad. I think we're going to win the league and knock City out of the Champions League, said CM Butterbell. Love it. Neymar is a tosser, said Joe Tony. It's a very reserved way of putting it, mate. I'd love to go off on a rant on him, but I've done it before about Mr. Neymar. I don't like him at all. Right, Dean Dixon said Chelsea. Kepa, Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, Emerson, Barkley, Jorginho, Kovacic, Mason Mount, Abraham and Pedro. It's not a fucking great looking team, is it, Dean? To be honest, mate, it's not a great looking team at all. If you're a Chelsea fan looking at that, you're going, oh, it's going to be a long season. 100% could definitely see he wasn't set. It was good forward play, hitting the ball early, said stealthful. Alex Scott said Messi couldn't get in Manchester City's team right now. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know the context of how she said it, so it's not really fair for me to comment on it. But look, Messi would grace any team in the world. Even though his powers are maybe waning a little bit, it is still Lionel Messi. It is still the greatest player, in my opinion, of our generation. What have we got? Everything changed, Pat, and it swung in United's favour. If Kenny was still the manager, I think he would have carried on being successful. Midfield defence need to step up to protect Adrian, said man with the plan. Yes, and they will. I said this the other day. I fully believe that our defence will step up, regardless of the goalkeeper situation. I just think our defence will get better as the level of opposition steps up as well. I mean, yes, Norwich did create opportunities at Anfield, no denying that. But you know what? They're not a bad side, Norwich. They play good attacking football, and they've got young players that are full of the phrase I'm looking for here? The brashness of youth. The impetulance of youth, I don't know, but they're just not scared, basically, is where I'm trying to go with this. What's your thoughts on the Premier League's first round? Some interesting results. City, fantastic 5-0 win, but seems to be pretty standard for them when they play West Ham. Liverpool, not to be snuffed at, 4-1 win at home against Norwich. United's results, probably the biggest, I won't say shock result of the weekend, but definitely the standout result of the weekend if you're looking at it from a point of view of it is two top sides going head to head. United beating Chelsea 4-0. You've got to be happy now if you're a United fan. Looking through other results, Everton drew 0-0 with Palace, didn't they? Wolves and Leicester drawn 0-0. A good result for Brighton, actually want to say that. Good result for them. Good start to campaign for Mr. Potter there. I just can't think if there was any other major results this weekend that I'm forgetting about. Am I worried about Alisson being out for 2 months? I don't think it'll quite be that long, Andrew. I think I'm probably going to go on the optimistic side of a month. But, of course, you're always going to be worried when you lose one of the spine of your team. If we lost Alisson, if we lost Van Dijk, if we lost Fabinho, if we lost Salah, Mane, Firmino, any of those, you're going to be a little bit worried because it's an important part of your team. But, at the same time, Adrian's a professional. I'm willing to wait and give him the benefit of the doubt and hope that he does well. But I guess only time will tell, really, mate. And when you lose somebody of the quality of Alisson Becker, it's going to affect your team somewhat. There's no denying that. Ben Rafferty said, I think Henderson was a contender for the man of the match in Friday night's game. I'm with you 100%, Ben. I said it at the time. He was excellent. The pressing from the front for Henderson, the dispossessing of players, the quality of his ball work, like the passing, he was up there. He was definitely in the debate. He was just 100 miles an hour, and it was great to see him getting more license to get forward. As Connor pointed out during the watch along, it almost seemed like Gini was deeper than Henderson, and he was everywhere. It was great to see. It was a really good performance from Jordan Henderson. Now, not just Jordan Henderson, I have to point out, but your comment was about Hendo. Fullness of youth. That wasn't the one I was trying to go with, Joanne. It was either petulance. Is petulance the word I was looking for? I don't know. This is why I should probably just have a dictionary here open in front of me when I'm trying to sound intelligent. The vigour of youth, that works as well, Brian. Yeah, that defo works. An unpopular thought, I play Matip over Gomez, said Seamus. I think you meant to write Craig, but you wrote Greg. But it's alright, mate, I've been called worse. Look, that is a conversation that we had the other night as well, and it is a very, very difficult decision. I don't think it is an unpopular opinion, mate. I think it's a valid opinion. Whether you play Matip over Joe Gomez at this moment in time, it's probably a 50-50 call for me. Matip was excellent the second half of last season. Didn't put a foot wrong when Joe Gomez had his leg fractured against Burnley. And shocked me as to, one, the level of consistency that he put in. And I didn't think Matip was going to be able to play that amount of games, to be honest, without picking up another knock. So yeah, it is a difficult conversation. Long term, the thought process seems to have always been that Van Dijk will be partnered by Joe Gomez. But I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Matip play on Wednesday. In fact, I'm probably expecting to see him play alongside Van Dijk and then let Gomez play on Saturday against Southampton. But I don't know if you mean long term, buddy, but there's definitely a fair conversation to be had there, and I don't think it's at all really an unpopular opinion. Matip's been in great form. United won a match. Everybody's saying the defence is solid. Just shows how long it's been since they won, said Banter. I was impressed with Sheffield United. 2 centre-halves that go Roman but very agricultural in defence, said Happily Eggs. Burnley won 3-0, said Paul. Did they? I don't even pay attention to some of Burnley's results. Right, let me get the live score up open here and we can relive all the Premier League results. Come on, you slow piece of shit. Right, so what have we got? Spurs won 3-1 to Villa as well. Good late comeback from Spurs after going 1-0 down. Brighton won 3-0 away at Watford. That's definitely a fantastic result. I mean, Watford again doing some decent business this summer. Brighton's go there and win 3-0. A team tipped by many of us, probably myself included, to go straight back down. Well, I say straight back down. It didn't come up this season, but I mean back down. I didn't mean to use the word straight back down. I'm still pissed off at them for the way that they treated Chris Hughton, by the way. Palace 0-0 with Everton. Burnley 3-0 against Southampton, and then 1-1 Sheffield United against Bournemouth. A game that Harry Wilson didn't feature in as well. I said that yesterday. I'm sure he'll get game time soon. I'm sure that's part of his loan agreement as well. Neymar is a fake. He's a good player, but he's not that good. If he was, he'd be up there last season with Messi, said Joe Tony. Look, the thing that pisses me off about Neymar the most, mate, is that ability. As you said, he has it. He has it in spades. But he doesn't have the Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi attitude that they just go and get on with things. Look, everybody does a bit of rolling around and diving as part of the game. Neymar takes that shit to another level. Neymar is a mercenary. That's what I believe Neymar is. He just is interested in brand Neymar and money. Not in the glory of the game, not in succeeding, not in winning things. And yes, he has won things in the game. But no matter what he does between now and the end of his career, he is never going to be mentioned in the same breath as Messi and Ronaldo. Never. He said that he was leaving Barcelona to get out of Messi's shadow and to go and win things. Well, he went to Paris Saint-Germain and ran into a young man called Kylian Mbappe, who was already a better player than him. And now he's looking to get out of there and force a move maybe to Madrid or somewhere else. And it's just all about money with Neymar. He is just an asshole. I really don't like the guy. Says, you know, the bald, broke, overweight Irish fella sitting at home. Like, I know, I get all of that, but it is a fan channel and we're here to give our opinions on football. Pat Moynihan said, I remember it was one of the major news stories that day. Anybody who knows our reserve goalie is now Adrian is number one. What? Anyone who knows our reserve goalie is now Adrian is number one. Well, he's not number one. I think he's 13 or something, isn't he? But yeah, Adrian will be there. And I think we're going to sign Andy Lonergan on a short-term deal. I'm not sure if that's done or not. I haven't seen that it was confirmed, but it looks like with Queevy and Kelleher still being a little bit away from getting back to full match fitness after breaking his wrist. I think there's a lot of talk of maybe a short-term deal for Andy Lonergan, who of course was away with the Reds on the pre-season tour of America. Was he in Evian as well? Andy Lonergan? I can't actually remember if he was. Henderson's made for counter-pressing, said Casper. He is. And again, an amazing engine on Jordan Henderson. Something that I think gets overlooked at times with him. He is just full of energy. The Irish kid is out too, said Joe Tony. Yeah, Queevy and Kelleher. I think he's going to start back training this week. I think I heard Klopp say that. But it will be a couple of weeks probably before he's available to be selected. Dara said, it's strange the progress in sport is so slow. Goal line technology took forever to implement and there's no logical reason why. Same with cricket where you still cannot have a sub. I'm going to be honest, mate, I watch very little cricket, so I won't even pretend to know the ins and outs of the rules of cricket, mate. But I suppose sometimes it's about change for change's sake. Now, goal line technology, I agree. It was an absolute no-brainer. But there are some things in football where you're wondering, is it getting to the point where they're just trying to make changes for change's sake? Like I spoke about that rule that they considered implementing, the penalty rule, that would have meant that if a penalty was saved or hit the post or whatever, that there were no rebounds. That was it. You missed your opportunity. A goal kick or a free kick gets taken if you miss. And thankfully, they voted that down. But there's been some rules that have come in this season that I actually really like. I like the substitution rule. That means the players can leave at the nearest point of exit. I love the goal kick one, particularly. That's one that's been doing my head in for many, many years. The fact that like it doesn't have to leave the 18-yard box now, keepers can play it short, and if a fullback gets caught out by a forward who has their eye on the ball and is switched on, great, they dispossess and hopefully score from it. Good, because it really pissed me off that it used to be that if a defender was caught out, you just step into the 18-yard box and they get to retake the goal kick. That for me was just ridiculous. Maul said, I think today's game was United's first clean sheet in 15 games or something. I honestly don't know. I haven't paid attention to United statistics, but if you are right, then that's fucking shocking. But I don't know if you are right or not. Adam Park said, I think there should be no debate about who partners Van Dijk. I think they should be rotated. Yeah, it's about building up a partnership though, mate, isn't it? I mean, just going back through the years, look at the great centre-back partnerships over generations, and they always played 25, 30 plus games together a season, and you need that consistency. Why didn't Batshuayi play today, said Callum? No idea. I haven't got a fucking clue. I've forgotten about Michy Batshuayi altogether. In my opinion, Cristiano Ronaldo is the greatest of all time, but that's only because he's been constant in the Portugal League, the Premier League, the Spanish League and the Italian League. Look, that debate is a debate that will go on for the ages, Bassett, mate, and it is just a matter of opinion. Some people are Cristiano Ronaldo and think that he's the greatest of all time or of our generation. I'm on the Messi side of that debate, but we are talking about two absolutely top-notch footballers there. What else have we got? Dean Dixon said Brighton spent £58 million. They could probably afford to as well, though, to be fair, Dean, mate. I mean, they are a Premier League club now, so they are bringing in quite a lot of money every season. We can rotate Matip with Gomez, said Shea Trainer. For this game, yes, but in the grand scheme of things, I would like to see consistency in our defence. So whoever Klopp goes with, particularly for Premier League European games, I'd like to see them kept together, because the more two people play together, much like we're starting to see that understanding really blossom now between Firmino and Salah in the front line. And of course it will come with Mane as well, who I absolutely fucking love. I'm so happy to have Sadio back. Nat said City are going to struggle with the pressure of the ban. I believe you are correct. I believe that they will struggle. I believe that the outside interferences and the media scrutiny that will come upon them will cause them some issues, and I look forward to it. I really do. Now, if it comes back from UEFA and they've been cleared of all charges, then they've got nothing to worry about. But it looks like there's going to be a potential ban coming their way, which will invite lots and lots of media interest and scrutiny and questions and uncomfortableness and a spotlight on the owners of the club and so many other things. Milner is a backup keeper, said Craig Adams. Connor said that to me, half joking, mate. But you know what? Jimmy Milner can play anywhere. He's Jimmy Milner. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about 45 minutes left in tonight's stream. If you're enjoying it, please do hit that subscribe button, give the channel a thumbs up and let us know your thoughts in the comments. We've passed 20,000 subs, so we're now heading towards the 21, 22, 25, I don't know, but as it stands, we're just 2 subscribers away from our next target of 100. Every single one of your subscriptions means the world to us, so thank you so much for your love and support to the channel. And again, Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim friends out there. I actually did a bit of research on it because I don't like talking about stuff in complete ignorance, so I did do a little bit of Googling and research. As I said, I'm not a religious person from any perspective, but I think it's always nice to try and learn new things, so I did do a little bit of research today. What else we got? Craig, where is Grabara? We have him as a backup keeper. He's on loan. Mate, where did he go on loan to, Grabara? Did he go on loan to the Bundesliga? I can't remember where we sent Grabara on loan to, but he's gone on loan for the season anyway. Neymar, great player with a tainted reputation by his own actions, said Bernadette Farrell. Yes, he punched a fucking supporter on the way up the steps last year after losing the French Cup final. He punched, I don't know if it was a Ron supporter or if it was a PSG supporter or whatever the guy said to him. It doesn't really matter. Neymar punched him. Then he had his incident as well. Remember, United knocked him out of the Champions League and Neymar basically had a little rant on Instagram afterwards, using bad language and talking about the officials not knowing jack shit about the game, something along those lines. The playoff gets you 100 mil. That's why Villa got so much, said Seamus Smith. I think it guarantees you, a windfall of 100 million over your time in the Premier League, which is a lot of money. And Villa made 12 or 13 signings, something like that. Right, Count Andre said, got a friend who slapped a dude in an argument, mostly because the dude resembled Neymar. I'm not saying anything on that one, pal. He'll be in China soon. Are we talking about Neymar? Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me at all. It would not surprise me at all. The only part about that would have to be the transfer fee. And bear in mind, if a Chinese club came in and paid, let's say, 200 million to Paris Saint-Germain for Neymar, they have to pay a 200 million tax on top of that to be reinvested in the underage or the grassroots level of Chinese football. Remember that tax was implemented last season, I think it was, versus 100% tax on any foreign players to come into the league. So if you sign Neymar for 200 million, I believe you have to pay a 200 million tax on top of that. Well, I don't think tax is the right word, actually. I don't know what way they've labelled it, but basically there's 100% of whatever the transfer fee is gets reinvested in underage levels or grassroots football in China, I believe. Craig, would you like to see Liverpool pull 4 past the likes of Chelsea, United and Everton? I would. To be honest, Callum, I just want 3 points, mate. 3 points from every game that we play. How we go about getting them, I honestly don't mind. If we win every game 1-0, if we win every game 9-8, it doesn't really matter, man. It's all about getting those points. It's all about trying to win the Premier League. Brad Palmer said, don't need more rules, just better refs. And Brad, I am fully with you on that one, pal. The Premier League, for the money that's in it, for the publicity that it gets, for the awe and for the high esteem it's held in around the world, the level of officiating just isn't good enough. It just isn't. And I know sometimes we're probably looking at this because we see the league every single week and we watch a lot of games and we see match of the day and we see every little error that's made. And we might look at other leagues and just see highlights and probably think of their officials as better. But when you go to national competitions, the European Championships, the World Cup, I won't say the African Cup of Nations because I actually thought the refereeing there was terrible. The Copa America and stuff, you do see a better standard of officiating. And I often wonder why there isn't this system in place where, and it would probably help FIFA as well, where referees get rotated around Europe, even around the world, to get practice to implement the rules evenly across. So sometimes we see something that we say, oh, that's a foul in Spain, but it wouldn't be a foul in the Premier League. That type of stuff. You know, the type of carry on. There needs to be a consistency. What's a foul or what's blown up in one league should be the exact same in the other league, and so on and so forth. So I fully think that there's an argument to be had for referees going in rotation, maybe doing a season here, a season there, blah de blah. And it also will remove some of the biases, because no matter what we say, and with the best intentions in the world towards Premier League referees, they're human beings. There has to be situations that are stuck in their head where they've been mouthed off to by a player, or where they underneath it all don't like a club. And even if it's an unintentional bias, I think there are some there. I think that might help remove that factor as well. But look, it's all just up in the air stuff. But I do agree with you that the standard of refereeing just isn't good enough in the Premier League. I'm all for Matip as VVD's partner, said TJ Baines. Don't forget, ladies and gents, as well, tonight's stream is a Bobby Firmino appreciation stream, so I would love to know your favourite Firmino moments, what it is about Bobby Firmino that makes you love him so much, and I'd love to know why you think he is so important in this Liverpool team. I mean, I've given my opinion on it, and many other Reds have given theirs. It is over to you. Chelsea started off great against United, said happily eggs. They did, definitely the better team for the opening period, but hit the post, didn't go in from Tabry Abraham, and Man United went to the other end, got a penalty, and then from that point on slowly started to get the better of the game, I think. And from the second and third goals went in, Chelsea just completely fucking shit the bed. Dean Dixon said Robbo and Trent still have a bit more clinical with chances. I want to see Robbo shoot more this season, mate, definitely. What do refs get paid per game in the Premier League? Can honestly say, mate, I don't know, but they are professionals. I don't know is the honest answer, mate. I'm sure somebody does know. It's actually an interesting question. I wonder what they do get paid. I mean, it is a very difficult and demanding job being a referee, so I would imagine that they should get a decent wage. Seamus Smith said, with fouls in the Premier League, it's very physical, as in the Spanish League, it's more tactical. Obviously, something that Pellegrini was talking about with regards to Manchester City and their tactical fouling. He believes that they should be pulled up on it a little bit more. Firmino, the ball sticks to his feet like glue, said Andrew Gold. Mate, that, or Gould, I should say, excuse me. That opportunity he had against Norwich the other night where he pulled it over his head and hit it on the volley with his left peg. That was so fucking close. It was such a nice strike. Stevie Richards said, I love the no-look shots by Bobby on goal. Yeah, it is his thing, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful that he has that little thing about him. And his celebrations as well. I mean, over the years, give me your favourite Bobby Firmino celebration. Matthew Furlong said, Firmino's hat-trick in the 5-1 win against Arsenal at home last season. Discarded Anne said, VAR is getting ridiculous. They use it for every single little thing. Not a fan. What about you? Well, they don't use it for every single little thing, mate. There's 4 things that they use it for. They do check every single goal. That much they do. That's, I think, standard with VAR. They use it for offside. They use it for a possible red card. And they use it for mistaken identity. I think they're the only 4 things that they use it for. And they also believe, this is the Premier League's words, not mine, that they have a high threshold of VAR in the Premier League. So for something to be actually looked at by VAR, it has to be pretty obvious, or at least pretty debatable. And that's their words, not mine, that they have a high threshold for what gets looked at. But every single goal does get looked at by VAR. But again, that shouldn't really matter or come into consideration, because usually players are celebrating a goal, running over to the fans, going to their teammates, then there's the jog back to the halfway line, the ball has to get set, and usually by the time all that's done, the check will have been done, the referee will have been notified, and the game will restart. Now look, I'm not being a massive advocate of VAR here, I'm just trying to be fair in my assessment. Mull said, I'm from Norway and Norwegian media gave David De Gea an 8 out of 10 for today's game, and one of the things they said was that his presence scared shots to the woodwork. I don't know what to say to that, but what I will say is, I often wondered, when a goalkeeper like David De Gea or whoever is in their prime, or Alisson or Ederson or whoever it might be, when they're in a really rich vein of form and they're pulling out worldies week after week, I often wonder, does that get into a forward's head? And do they think they have to put it right into the top corner or the bottom corner, or, you know, almost go too far and overthink things, and does that play into the goalkeeper's hands? I think it probably does happen, you know, especially when you've got a goalkeeper who's in a very good vein of form. But that is very fucking funny, mate, that they scared the shots onto the woodwork. Let's not forget, he's coming off not a great season last year, David De Gea for Manchester United. Happily Egg said, one eye on match of the day, listening to you and writing messages, the hell with multitasking. I can't multitask, mate, I'm shocking. Absolutely shocking at it. What's Bobby Firmino's current value, asks Count Andre. Ooh, I would go... Right, be realistic about this. 120? 120 to 130? I mean, is that a fair value? Am I overvaluing him? Am I undervaluing him? I don't know, it's hard to market move so fast, but I would say 120 million isn't an unrealistic amount. But again, it is an interesting question, and one I'd love to know your thoughts on, ladies and gents. Ti amo, Bobby. No, I like it, Dean. I think I love Bobby. I think that's what that means. Is that right? Firmino is a sniper. Mane and Salah are the riflemen, Craig. I like that analogy. Curtis, well in. Can we do a Virgil van Dijk show one night, said Scotty. Yes, we can absolutely do a show, mate, on why Virgil van Dijk is top notch. Enbro, how are you, buddy? Never any need to apologise. Oh, I don't want to say that it annoys me when people do that, but don't ever feel the need to. That's what I mean to say. Of course it never annoys me, but I don't like that anybody ever feels they have to apologise for being late. It's a pleasure to have you with us, pal, and we really appreciate anybody that gives up their time, so never feel like you have to apologise to us. I need a drink though. Hang on. Oh, God bless Diet Coke. God bless them. Where's my freebies though? Could have sworn last week I saw up to 200k a year, boys, on what? Oh, for referees. Oh, I don't know, mate, maybe. And that wouldn't be an unreasonable amount. I mean, it's a very demanding life for them as well. 100 million for Patrick Doyle. 1 billion, said Soldier. Firmino's a sniper, Mane and Salah the rifleman. We've gone through that one. Colin Falvey said, get those likes in. Please do, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. What else we got? 9 billion, said Adam Parks. 10 million? 10 million, Casper. I'm sure that was I'm sure you hit the wrong button. I'm sure you forgot a zero or something there, buddy. Nathan reckons 90 million. Seamus has gone 135 to 160. Scotty's 130 million. Joanne's saying, for anyone asking about the watch along on Wednesday, thank you, Joanne. We will be doing a watch along of the Super Cup, of course, and it will take place from 7:30 on the channel. Now, just bear in mind that we do not schedule our watch alongs, because when we've done it in the past, we've got done for copyright infringement, even though we've broken no rules. So we just go live these days. But you can be assured, 7:30 on Wednesday, we'll be starting with that one. Bobby has the best song, Si Senor. Best goals are just instinctive, no time to think, bang, top corner. Yeah, I love that. Love it. Boom, one touch, bang, goal. Job done. I watched back Salah's rocket against Chelsea from last season again today. I think LFC TV or the Liverpool Twitter account put it out, and you won't really see much more of a clean strike than that one. It was an absolute rocket. Michael McGrath said, imagine when we get Mbappe and we have Firmino as central attacking mid, Salah on the right wing and Mane on the left wing. Oh, mate, I'm fully convinced that something major is happening next season. That whether it be Mbappe, whether it be Sancho, whether it be somebody else, the Reds are going to do something big. I really believe that. And that's why we didn't pull the trigger on any major deals this summer, because we couldn't get the man that we wanted, and Klopp was willing to play the long game. But then again, as I keep saying, I'm an optimist. Vicalia said if he's in any other team, he will be the league's top scorer. So he does what Klopp wants of him to do and scores goals. He links up our team. I love him, mate. I love Firmino so much. I was really excited about doing a Bobby Firmino appreciation stream tonight. I've wanted to do one for ages. We did one with James Milner last season actually as well. Stephen Richard said, you're my mini-me, Craig. I'm definitely smaller than you, mate. Yes, I will give you that one. How much do you think VVD is worth? Right, so he's 27, isn't he? Van Dijk. In his peak, just coming into his peak right now. Well, if Maguire's 85 million, the world's most expensive defender, again, I'm putting Virgil van Dijk somewhere in the 120 to 150 bracket, I think, probably, although we'll never know because he won't be getting sold. I genuinely think that he's going to put the entire prime of his career into Liverpool, and that if he does move on, it'll be when he's 33, something like that. But I honestly think we've got so many beautiful years ahead with Virgil van Dijk in a Liverpool shirt. Jack Spade said, did you see when Rashford was about 5 yards offside and put the ball in the net to take the piss, it was still checked by VAR? I think, was this not the check not to do with the possible foul on Pogba who played the through ball? Was that right? I could be wrong on that. I know the incident you're talking about, mate, but I think Pogba wanted it looked at. I think he felt he was fouled after he played the ball, even though Rashford was offside. Dean Dixon reckons 120 million. Milo reckons 106. I like that. 106 is a very definite number, Milo. I like that, mate. I sometimes feel sorry for Firmino because Salah and Mane got all the press, and even though they won't be half as good without him there, said Nat. Yeah, and Firmino sound about that, I'm sure. Like Bobby knows his role, and he knows that he's loved for it, and he knows that the manager loves him for it, and he knows how important he is to this team. I still can't believe, though, that semi-final against Barcelona, that we got that 4-0 win without Firmino and Salah, and with Robertson going off after half an hour. Watching it back again, I think I've watched it 3-4 times in the past week alone, that game, and yeah, just going into it with no Salah, no Firmino, and Robbo getting taken off after 30 minutes because of a snidey tackle by Suarez. Or well, did he make it through the half time? The tackle was on 30 minutes anyway. It's still fucking baffles me in a great way. I mean, of course. Where is Degsy Lovren? He's available. He's a Liverpool player, Casper, mate. Again, though, it comes down to who can play on the bench. I mean, I'm just trying to think who was on the bench against Norwich. So there was obviously Adrian who came on. There was Milner. There was Matip. Who else was on the bench? Shaqiri. I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me just check. I know you're only allowed 7 players these days on the bench, which is really going to limit who you can have. Right, so let me look at the bench again. Milner, Keita, Mane, Adrian, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Shaqiri and Matip. So just no space on there at all for Dexy Lovren, which goes to show you how competitive our squad is already. You should have brought in Werner to play at central attacking midfielder behind Firmino. The reason that Liverpool didn't sign Timo Werner, mate, was because of Jurgen Klopp's belief in Ryan Brewster, and that's not just me making that up. That was something that was put out there in the media. I love Timo Werner, and I think he would have done very good at Liverpool. But as I said time and time again, the club went through a lot to make sure that young Ryan Brewster committed his first professional contract to Liverpool Football Club, and they needed to show him that his pathway through wasn't going to be blocked. And the manager's got everything pretty much right so far, and I fully back him in this decision as well, as much as I would have liked to have seen Timo Werner. I'm still baffled that nobody has gone for him yet in this window. 1 year left on his Leipzig deal. I know that Bayern Munich are sitting there going, gonna get him on a free, but you know, if you're another club, I'm sure Leipzig would rather do business with you than let Timo Werner leave on a free. Craig Adams said, I can't see any of the front three leaving. They've always got beam and smiles on them. The same goes for the entire squad. Everybody just loves it there. Such a great team spirit. As I said the other day, this is probably, and this is definitely going to be unpopular, but I think one of them will leave next summer. I don't know who. I don't think it'll be Bobby. I think it's more likely to be Mane or Salah. And that might be why this potential big move might come in, because we might be looking to freshen up a bit, bring in a younger superstar. I don't know. I think I read something, maybe, was it Joel Rabinowitz might have wrote something on this, or written something on this. Again, if Joel didn't, I don't want to put that ball in his court. It just rings a bell. Paul Turner said, greatest comeback in the Champions League history against Barcelona. It was, yeah, it was. I mean, you can talk about 2005 and that was fucking amazing, but to be 3-0 down after the first leg, no, you can't concede even one because you're up shit creek, and to go and beat them 4-0, it was damn beautiful, mate. It was absolutely beautiful. I still fucking nearly tear up thinking about it now, and watching the game back during the week, still filled full of emotion watching it. Still can't believe what you're seeing. Still can't believe Trent Alexander-Arnold took that corner like he did, and I still can't believe Divock had the presence and the calmness to side foot it into the top corner. It was just beautiful. And then to defend as well after that, and to make sure the Barca couldn't get back into it, it was brilliant to see. Gary Richards said, Ryan Brewster will light up this league, Craig. He's going to be a superstar. Absolute superstar. It's just a matter of how he's introduced to the team and to the league, and how slowly Klopp wants to let him off the leash. Love Brewster, but don't rate Origi. Think he's just a big sub. However, to see him bang in 10 or 15 goals. Look, Origi is, again, another player who isn't even at his prime yet and has improved. And if you didn't think Origi was impressive in that win against Norwich, then I give up. I thought he was excellent. Look, he's not Sadio. He's a different type of player, but he was direct, he was pacey, he was threatening. He got a very good goal as well. A beautiful ball from Trent. That diagonal pass into the penalty spot, and the good run from Origi as well. Left keeper in no man's land, nodded it past him. I think Origi's going to come on leaps and bounds. There's a drop off from the front three to Origi, yes, but he's still a young man. What is he, 24 years of age, something like that, Origi? We need a plan to replace Firmino next summer, not replace him by moving him, but not bringing in an understudy to learn his role. Don't underestimate Keita and what he's going to bring in an attacking sense, is all I'll say there. Keita is going to harass and harry people to an extent the way Firmino does. He is going to have that little bit of bite, a bit of snarliness about him like Firmino does. Obviously he's not as natural of a finisher as Bobby Firmino is, but again, Keita, I'm just thinking about the impact that Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain could have this season on our team. And I don't like to use the phrase like a new signing like Klopp did about Lallana and stuff, but they will be a big, big benefit and a big plus to have. I'm not sure what went on with Man with the Plan. I'm not sure if he was trolling or something. I can only see one of his comments that just said, can't wait for the January window. I reckon we got something up our sleeves. I don't know if I missed something else, Joanne, as to why you hit him. Maybe he did something, but I don't see any problem with that comment. Again, though, it could have been something else. Mamba's plan was unhidden then by Willow, so maybe it was just a mistake after all. You know when a player is stupid when he asks to address the ball and they say, what's the postcode? See, Lukaku scored 4 for Inter Milan actually in a friendly. Now I think it was against the Serie D side, but he did score 4, which is makes you chuckle. If we sell Salah or Mane, that's small club mentality in their prime, said Saeed. I get you. I'm not going to deny that, mate. 100% agree with you. But at the same time, we don't know how the players feel. And I'm just guessing, same as you are. But it was nice to go into this summer and know that it wasn't the situation that we were going to find ourselves in, and that no matter who came in for any of our players, they were going to be told to do one. But I do agree, it's not great if you're moving on players in their prime, but sometimes things happen for a reason, and sometimes things need to be freshened up, and sometimes the managers can see little glimpses or little things that we can't see. Alex Ferguson was well known for being able to just pick players right, just at the right moment to sell them before they went downhill, and I think Kloppo has a touch of that about him as well. Although look, I'm not saying Mane or Salah are going to go downhill, I'm just saying that whatever will happen for a good reason. I read somewhere that Salah did say he wants to play for Real Madrid, but that could be bollocks. I don't know. They've been linked with him very strongly. So they've been linked to Sadio Mane as well. On Salah and Real Madrid, just as a little side thing here, and of course I never want them to move, but I could never, when I picture Salah ever leaving Liverpool, and it gives me a shiver even doing it, but it is only ever a Madrid shirt I would picture him in. I couldn't see him in a Barcelona shirt, as an example. It is mad with some type of players like that. You can only, or is that just me? Or you can only think of them in one shirt if you're going to a club in Spain, or if they're going to a club in England, for instance. Sometimes I look at a player and I go, he's a Liverpool player, or he'd be a United player. And like Harry Kane, as a good example, I used to always think to myself, in the olden days, Harry Kane would have definitely been bought by Alex Ferguson, and he would have definitely been a United player by now. Obviously United are a club that aren't in a great place at the moment, so not fucking attractive for Kane to go there. But do you get where I'm coming from with that? There's some players you just look at them and think, if they were to go to this league, then I can only see them wearing that jersey. Count Andre said players have dreams too, of course, and short careers. That's important to remember. Dejan stays forever, said Shankly Spirit. I wouldn't quite rule out Dejan Lovren going just yet. There's still time in the European windows. I would see, what's this? I would like to have seen Wan-Bissaka at Liverpool. What about you? Said Discarded Ant 58. It would be disingenuous of me, mate, not to think back and remember conversations during the season where myself and a couple of you guys in the chat did single out Aaron Wan-Bissaka and say that he would be a decent signing and that he is a very good footballer. So yeah, him at Liverpool as a backup strength would have been great, but he's now a Manchester United player, and I'm not going to go back and change my comments. He does have a good career ahead of him. Seamus Smith said, Craig, do you need to play Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain more quickly as they need match fitness, as Gini, Hendo, Millie, Fabinho look certain to be picked? Rhythm. It's all about rhythm, mate, and making sure that they're ready to go. Think about when Klopp signed Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Even though he had Premier League experience, it took a long time for Klopp to just feel like now is the right moment. And when he dropped them in, he never looked back. Same with Andy Robertson as well. And I think it'll be the same this time around. Whenever Chambo gets dropped back into that team and gets starting to put consistent performances or consistent starts together, is going to be a hard man to remove from the team for the big games, because we've seen how important he was to us in 20s. What fucking year was this? 2017-18. Kato Beer and Momo Sissoko, Craig, snapping at the heels, said Curtis Dalton. I did love a bit of Momo Sissoko, mate. I think Kato could be good in the left attacking role like Mane, said LBM Lens based media. Yeah, Kato can play an 8, he can play a 10. I wonder if he could play the 6. He probably could, you know. I mean, Klopp could probably teach him to play the 6, but he is a really good box-to-box midfielder in RB Keita. And we didn't see the best of him last season because of numerous factors, but he's a damn fine player. Vlad said, United fan here, gave you a sub, keep growing. Thank you, mate. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you for coming in. You must be delighted with your team's win today. Really appreciate the subscription as well, and thank you, buddy. It is great. I love that we have fans from opposition clubs come in and they don't just go, hey, Liverpool fan, fuck you. Give us a chance, like anybody else. I know Mark has a lot of people that aren't United fans that go over and listen to him and watch him over there. And the Redmen TV, I'm sure those guys as well have fans from opposition clubs that go in and watch. Same with the Anfield Rap, same with Expressions, same with everybody. I mean, it's great that fans just like fan football content, and there's a lot of great content. There's probably a bit of content out there as well, but there's a lot of good content out there. And mate, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you. Right, sometimes I feel like I'm talking too quickly and I need to slow down. But I'm also somebody that had a little bit of a radio background when I was younger, and a fucking dodgy radio. Do you know what I mean? And dead air. Just to me, I know on YouTube it's different, but I often think if I don't speak for 3 seconds, it feels like an eternity, and there's dead air, and I don't like dead air. 1, 2, 3, too much dead air. I'd hate for Firmino to leave, or I'd hate for Mo to leave for Real Madrid, said Scotty. Your favourite Fowler goal? I know it's a tough question. The one that he put over Schmeichel and just left him in no man's land, mate. Schmeichel could do fuck all about it. That has to go down as one of them. Dara, it was an absolute beauty. Yeah, it was a great goal. Although there are so many to think of, as you said, but that one's the one that first sprang to mind. Mo won't go to Real Madrid after what he did in the Champions League final, said Crosby Red. Yes, it's an interesting point. It definitely is. Although it depends, maybe if Ramos fucks off, things may change, I don't know. Do you remember what position Keita played versus Barcelona at the Nou Camp? Because he was brilliant before he got injured. No, I don't. Look, my memory, Andrew, is renowned for being shocking, buddy. I forget what happened yesterday a lot of the time. Scotty said, Craig, I think Fabinho could teach Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby to play the 6. On the 6, while we're talking about the 6, and we had a conversation around Adam Lallana the other day and his potential use in the 6 at some times. Grujic. I don't want to forget about Marco Grujic. I think it would be unfair of us to not keep an eye on how he gets on at Hertha this season, because I really think there's a player in there, and I think he could be not a long-term successor to Fabinho, but certainly somebody who can learn at the feet of Fabinho and come in and rotate with Fabinho and give Fabinho a break from time to time next season onwards. I really like Marco Grujic, and I hope that he has a future at the club. Casper, I think tactically at the end he had it wrong. He's a good manager, but he never pushed the lads. I'm not sure what that's about. Man with a Plan said apologies for any offence caused. You're back in now, mate, and anyone who has the presence of mind to apologise for anything, mate, gets a thumbs up from me. It takes a big person to apologise. I mean, I'm forever doing it because I'm fucking always making mistakes. Sergio Ramos coming to Liverpool next summer. Yeah, there's more chance of me signing for Liverpool next summer, I think, than that drug test skipping, potential drug test failing Real Madrid defender. What else we got? For sheer emotion, it was his header against Newcastle in a 4-3 win. I was at that game, said Dara. What a game that was. Collymore, right? What a game that was. I can still picture Kevin Keegan leaning over, kind of slumped after the goal went in, the 4-3 win. We had some great games against Newcastle over the years. Fowler sending Staunton for the Echo, said Lens-Based Media. Thought of Salah leaving doesn't scare me. I'm just not attached, but the thought of losing Mane gives me the shakes, said CM Butterbell. Yeah, I mean, I've said this many, many times. When Firmino and Coutinho were both here, I was always much more scared of the potential of losing Bobby than Coutinho. And that's why I can kind of understand where you're coming from, mate. And everybody has their own players that they love, don't they? Did you see the beautiful picture, by the way? I say beautiful picture. It kind of isn't a beautiful picture because of what happened, but put some context into it. I'm sure you guys have seen the picture of Mohamed Salah standing there with a young man in a Liverpool kit with a bit of a bloodied nose. Now, there was mixed stories doing the rounds on this. Some disingenuous sons of bitches were out there saying that the young man was beaten up by a group of Manchester City fans purely because he wore a Liverpool kit, and that's why Salah stopped. That's not what happened. What happened was The young man, I think, was playing outside of his house or something, seen Mohamed Salah driving by, tried to run and wave to catch his attention, and I think he ran into a lamppost and absolutely clocked himself in the face. Mo seen this, and of course Mo, being the absolutely wonderful human being that he is, got out of the car to make sure the young man was okay, and obviously stopped and took some pictures. And it's certainly a day that young man will never forget. And I would expect nothing less of Mohamed Salah or any professional footballer in that situation, to be fair, but it does goes to show you what a lovely human being Mohamed Salah is. Agree on the Grujic shout, said Shankly Spirit. Yeah, it's just, I've always thought there's a player in there for him, and I always wanted him to come back to the club at some point. My fucking mouse is after freezing again. I hate this piece of shit. Right, why isn't it working? Come on, mouse, work. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much, ladies and gentlemen. I need a new mouse. This is like the 5th one I've had or something, though. Oh, I can't read your comments because the mouse is after freezing. So bear with me for 2 seconds. Now I have to go and download something else to put it onto my phone. So 2 seconds, ladies and gents. I should probably, have a fallback bit here where I talk about, I don't know. Let's talk about salad. I don't like salad. Obviously I don't like salad. Look at me. I'm a big fat fuck. That's about the best I can have here. I don't know what's going on here. I'm trying to download a remote mouse on my phone because this piece of shit here just doesn't work. Yep, completely frozen on me. So hopefully this one works when I open this up. Come on, remote mouse. I do apologise about this. We've only got about 5 or 10 minutes to go anyway. Done. Wait, is it working? There you go. Yep, now we're back. Now we're back sucking diesel, ladies and gents. Yeah, I don't know if I need new batteries or if it's just a piece of shit mouse, but either way, here we go. Now we're sucking diesel. Right, Craig. Mo probably took him to Mo to see doctor about his nose. Kids are going to be running into lampposts now. Salah's such a humble man and a real legend, said Adam Parks. Score for Wednesday, guys. Mine's 3-0, said Seamus Smith. I don't know if I've already given a prediction on this. I think I may have said 2-1 to Liverpool. I think I might increase that to 3 now, though. I love meat salads at Count Andre. I don't like anything salad based, mate. They just take up chip space. Whenever I'm ordering stuff, I'm really fucking like, no salad. Don't be putting salad on my plate. Don't be taking up valuable chip space. It could be the batteries. It could, Embro. It could. And I will get some new batteries into it and see if it works. Gerald said, Bobby's the best player all day. The guy works himself like a powerhouse, never gets tired. I absolutely love Bobby. Lineup for the game on Wednesday. We'll go through what is it? We'll go through probably Monday or Tuesday. No, it won't be Tuesday because we're just doing the Fantasy Premier League show. I'm taking the rest of Tuesday off. I'll go through it tomorrow, mate. We'll do a full preview of the Super Cup tomorrow. Give us time to get our heads together and get a lineup sorted out. I might even get Connor to put the lineup. You see where Bobby's holding the Champions League trophy there in the image beside me. I might get Connor to put my predicted lineup and my score prediction in there as well, which is what we used to do last season. So I'll get on to Mr. Crosby and see if he can get that done. What else we got? Gomez or Matip, now that I know how and who we'll be playing. For me, I would expect Matip to play on Wednesday, but probably Gomez long term. Fowler's my favourite player by far, but I remember watching Ian Rush at White Hart Lane and he was amazing. We won 3-0, said Dara. Chelsea were shocking, said James Painter. I thought they started off well, mate. They just went backwards after that. Prediction for next week's Premier League. It's way too early for that, buddy. Way too early. We've got a whole week. We need to calm down or we'll just run out of stuff to talk about. Man with the plan, thank you very much for the kind words. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel. Pepper Red, sorry for shouting. You're always shouting Pepper Red. It's alright, man. We're used to you. What other strikers can you think of that could replace Firmino at this level? I don't know off the top of my head, mate. I'd have to really think about that one because I'd have to do research into the style of football. If we're looking for a like replacement, that is. Casper, love you too, mate. Thank you very much for the kind words. What's with the Toronto shirt? I'm a chav, as I've said before, mate. I just collect football shirts and some I can't wear on stream because of the green screen. So certain shades of blue and green and yellow I can't wear on the streams because it will just make me look like a floating head. So that kind of cuts down quite a bit on the shirts that I do have. But it's just because I like wearing football shirts, mate. That's it. I just happened to pick out the Toronto one today. What else we got? Gomez will be VVD's long-standing sidekick, said Soldier 1. Agree with that. I just think maybe just to freshen up and give Gomez a break ahead of the game against Southampton, that maybe we'll see Matip on Wednesday. Norwich were a shambles. How can you come to Anfield and play like that? That's the style of football that they play, mate, and that's what got them up last year, and they'll probably be involved in a lot of high-scoring games again this season because that's how Fark likes them to play. Right, ladies and gents, I think I'll go through a couple more comments and then call it a night. Do I get my shirts from Wish? No, they're all legitimate shirts, Casper. They're all genuine, bona fide. This is a bona fide MLS shirt. I got it in a shop in America called the United World of Soccer. I can never remember if it's the Florida Mall or the Millennium Mall. I think it's the Florida Mall. But yeah, that's where I got this one anyway, so shout out to them. Curtis Jones, the breakthrough this season, said Gary Richards. He is right on the cusp of something, I think. I don't know if he will go out on loan at some point, or I don't know if he'll get his opportunity at Liverpool, but there's definitely a very good footballer in there. Going to do my podcast next week. Any advice on my first one, said Scotty. Have fun, mate. That's what I say. Just have fun. Don't overthink anything. Don't worry about it. Just go out there, be yourself, have fun. If you make mistakes, lean into it. It's one of the reasons I love doing live stuff, is because I like owning up to mistakes, and I sometimes say stupid shit, get things wrong, slur up my speech, but it's part of the fun, and I think if you lean into it and take the piss out of yourself a little bit, people appreciate the honesty. Pepper Red said, have a great and fulfilling Eid to everybody. Enjoy yourselves and eat heartily, said Willow. Nice. Look, ladies and gents, going to call it a night there. It has been another wonderful stream with you wonderful people. Thank you so much for coming on and giving us a view again tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with the late night agenda, 9:30. We'll do a preview of the game against Chelsea in the Super Cup on Wednesday night. Hope you can join us for that one. Also, tomorrow we'll be doing our first Football Index segment, so keep an eye out for that one. If you're a Football Index fan, I think you'll like it. If you don't know what Football Index is, do a little bit of research, have a look, go onto the Google Play Store, the App Store, download the app. We'll talk you through it all tomorrow. Looking forward to it, ladies and gents. Please don't forget to subscribe before you head off if you haven't done so. Give us a thumbs up. If you're watching this on playback later on, love to know your thoughts about what we spoke about in the comment section below. As always, take care of your families. Tell your loved ones that you love them. I need to figure out how to use this new remote mouse now. And up the motherfucking Reds. Love to you all.